And we're back again, folks. Aye. The old dash sheep unit's back again in the kitchen. Huh? Huh? Bloody lovely. Right, so I've got some puff pastry in the fridge that I want to use up. I had some poverty frozen sausages in the freezer. So I thought, what better to make than some wee sausage, mushroom and caramelised onion bake things in a nice bit of gravy. Aye. So what we're going to be using is, we've got some red and brown onion there, we've got some mushrooms, everything's been sliced up, and we've got some poverty frozen sausages in the brand new lovely wee £3 pan for Poundland. How lovely is that pan? Look at that handle, look at the craftsmanship. Look at the actual craftsmanship on that handle. You seen that? Bloody gorgeous. Look at that. Come on. So, aye, we're using the wee £3 pan for Poundland. Absolutely gorgeous. Once they're cooked, once we've got a bit of colour on them and they're cooked, we'll stick them on the grill pan, they cool down. Then we'll get the onions in. We might get the mushrooms in next, but we'll get one of the two of them in anyway. And we've got a wee cup of beef stock here. We've got some run-of-the-mill gravy granules. Pretty sure they're beef gravy granules. And we've got a wee bit of thyme. I would have preferred a wee bit of dried sage, but I've not got any of that, so we're going to go with a wee bit of thyme. Not much, just a wee bit. And as I say, the puff pastry's in the fridge, so I'll be using that. I'll take that out at the last minute. Don't want it getting all warm and all damp and sticky. And we'll be adding a wee pinch of sugar, a wee teaspoon of sugar to the onions to get them nice and caramelised. As you can see, we're supporting the bright yellow gloves of joy. That wee farty noise. Sometimes they make a wee farty noise when you do that. They're not doing it. Typical. When you want them to do it on cam, it doesn't do it. Right, so I'm going to get back to these once there's a bit of colour on these sausages. Aye. We're back again with the gloves. I'm going to try and get a wee farty noise for you this time. Is that not adorable? You can't do that with your hands. We're getting a wee bit of colour on the sausages. Yeah, a wee swatch. Getting a wee bit of colour. We want more than that. We want more colour, so I've just turned them there. Aye. I'll get back to these when there's even more colour on these sausages. Right folks, the sausages are coming on lovely. I've teased them onto the other side to get a bit of colour. We want colour on every side of these. So I'm not going to lie, these are extreme poverty sausages, but I'm also not going to lie when I tell you they taste bloody lovely for the price. Absolutely amazing for the price. In fact, I'm even going to lie again. I'm going to say these taste even better than Richmond. And that isn't a lie, well, it might be a wee bit of a lie, but these taste even better than Richmond. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday. Hope Sarge is chilling out after his defeat for Mrs Tracy there with a prawn ham pasta and a fish cake challenge. The sheer ingenuity of Mrs Tracy's amazing. She managed to twist the whole challenge round and just make pasta with a few prawns and a bit of ham and a wee baby crab cake at the side of the plate, hiding behind some chilli jam. Chilli jam looked absolutely gorgeous, by the way, and I will, gloves are quite good for making a point, I will 100% be making that chilli jam, but in my own special way, Trace. As I said to you, I won't be using jam, sugar or special vinegars or anything. I'll be doing my own thing, but I'm sure it'll turn out lovely. And if it comes out as a big brick, I can just slice it. Who doesn't like a slice of chilli jam with their dinner? Everybody. Right, so there we go. Another wee look at the sausages. So good news about Sarge's Mitchie letter. I've heard the Mitchie letter's on its way, but I don't like to let you down here, Sarge. That Mitchie letter's no coming. That Mitchie letter's going to be a Mitchie letter saying you're not getting a Mitchie. We've seen your potato glue. We've seen your sweet and sour sauce. It takes 5 hours to boil down. They've seen your pizzas, they've seen your grilled spaghetti, and I don't think they saw your fish cakes. If they saw your fish cakes, that letter might have been a star, who knows? But I don't think it's going to be a star on that letter, Sarge, I'm sorry. I'm just going to give my stock a wee mix. So in this, there's not going to be any Bovril, any OXO cubes, none of that garbage. Just running them all. Anybody's got this in their cupboard. Running them all stuff. But aye, so, if you want Mitchie, everybody knows you've got to have a balsamic skid mark on your plate, no matter what you're making, if it's a cake or whatever. Listen, oh, the fart came back again. You want a nice big skid mark of balsamic vinegar on a plate, and get yourself a big massive pair of they comedy tweezers, and nonchalantly place geranium petals on whatever dish you're making. That's Mitch. That's what makes a Mitch. You never do any of that. You never do any of that. I want to see that. Let's get back and take out these sausages again. They even smell good. I think these were about £2 for a bag of 20 frozen sausages. Come on. I'm going to sit these there in fact, right? And I'll try and nonchalantly move them about to the other side so we get, look at that, look at the brownage on that. We want brownage on every side. See the thing about links, the thing about pot links, you have a square sausage, you can just turn it there. The thing about pot links, they don't want to move where you want them to move. Look at them, look at this wee bugger. I'm trying my best not to touch this pan, I don't want to scratch it. Look at them, look at these, no matter what I do, no matter how it, there we go. There we go, I managed it. No matter what you do, they just want to, links always want to do their own thing. They're a bit like me in that respect, I like to do my own thing. So I think I've got a lot in common with poverty frozen sausages. Right, there we go, we've managed to do that. I'm going to stick my wee tongs. Sarge is taking a bit of usage in tongs as well. I've never seen him use tongs and the whole time I've been watching him, but as soon as he sees me using tongs, he's got to use tongs, hasn't he? As soon as he sees me making a fish fucking finger sandwich burger, he's got to make a fish finger burger. Ah, come on now. Right, we're getting some lovely colour on that. Look at that. So when they're ready, we're going to put them on grill pan situated here. Once they cool down, we'll get them sliced up into wee bite-sized kind of slices. Nobody wants a whole sausage in their sausage bake pasty pie type affair. So we're going to let them cook a wee bit longer, then I think we're going to get in with the mushrooms, which are situated here. Then I think we'll get in with the onions, which are situated here. Onions and mushrooms situated in this general area. Then once we've done all that, we'll get the gravy on the go. We'll get the bits of sausage in with the gravy, we'll get the fried mushrooms into the gravy, we'll get the caramelised onions into the gravy, we'll get some thyme into the gravy, we'll get all a good wee mix about. We'll let that cook for a wee minute, then we'll turn that off, let it cool down. Then we'll get our frozen, it's not frozen, I'm telling lies there, it's actually in the fridge. We'll get our chilled puff pastry out the fridge. We'll place it lovely and nonchalantly on the countertop. We'll get it cut into sections. That's my motion for cutting into sections. We'll get it cut into sections. We've got egg in the fridge for my fish cakes, which were absolutely stunning. Did I mention the 3 cheese fondant centre in them? Absolutely bloody gorgeous, off the charts. But aye, definitely restaurant quality, Sarge, he says with a pointing finger at you. So I get back to these once there's more stuff happening, right? Right folks, we're back again with a lovely view of a mug with beef stock, some Lidl's or Aldi's gravy and some dried thyme. I know you love that kind of view. There's some mushrooms and onions situated here and here. Right, so I'm quite happy with the colour on these sausages. I think you'll agree that's a lovely bit of colour. So I think they're ready. And they're going to be getting cooked anyway, in the oven obviously. So what I'm actually going to do with these is I'm going to put them in the freezer, I'm going to make them up. And then get them in the freezer somehow. I'll cook one, I'll maybe cook one for you to have a wee swatch at how one looks like. What one looks like when it's ready, when it's been ovened up, baked up in the oven. Oh, there we go, almost a wee farty noise. Right, going to get the onions out the pan. See if I can sit you at ease somewhere, because I know you want to see me taking the sausages out the pan. I know that will make your Sunday. Right, tongs of amazement. Lovely bit of colour on each side, all the way round. Don't know if you can see that, all the way round. Lovely golden brown, tastes like sun. Right, we'll stick a sausage there. We'll take another sausage and place it right next to it. Sausages quite like being together, quite like being close to each other. Take another sausage, we'll place that gently there. Take yet another sausage, we'll place that gently there. So basically I've got 5 sausages here. So I've kind of worked out that hopefully we get maybe 4 or 5 pasties, meaning one sausage sliced up into each. Right, so I think what we'll go with next is, I think we'll go with the mushrooms next. So there you can see where sausages are just chilling out, quite close to each other, but they're no touching. It's only gay if they touch. So our sausages are just chilling out there, and I think we'll get our mushrooms in it. Aye. Get the mushrooms in. And I know what you're thinking, that's an awfully wee pan for the mushrooms, and you'd be 100% right, but that's just how I operate, that's how wacky and crazy I am. I don't conform to folk that need a big massive pan for hundreds of ingredients. I'll just squash it onto a tiny wee pan and hope for the best. That's how I operate. Right, in with the mushrooms. Hear that sizzle there, Sarge? That means the pan's hot. You really hear that in your pans? You usually want to turn your pans up 5 times before you get a bit of sizzleage. I just like to amuse myself. Nobody else is laughing, but I'm having an amusement. Same with Sarge. What the hell, see this? He's the only one that finds it funny. Well, maybe Trace finds it a wee bit funny, and Ron finds it a wee bit funny, and Polecat finds it a wee bit funny. But you can see I'm already having trouble with this tiny wee pan and all the mushrooms. But I'll manage. It's all about managing. It's all about working with what you've got. So we'll just let the bottom ones cook down. Once they cook down a wee bit, I'll be able to start messing about with them. But aye, thank God for Storm Amy coming down. She's buggered off to another country, and I'm glad about that. There's been roofs flying off, there's been cats and bugs flying about, there's been trees getting knocked down, folks' tellies on there working. My wee ma, she was went to see her earlier today, moaning about her telly. I said, Ma, some folk have no electricity, some folk have no roof, some folk have got a tree in their living room. Come on, things into perspective. You can do without a telly, you've got the internet there. Make do with what you've got. Here's a fish cake, shut up. So she took a fish cake and chewed on that for a wee minute, and that shut her up for a few seconds. Another night I took her a wee video. She's a mad Downton Abbey fan, so I took her Downton Abbey, that new Downton Abbey film. Pure garbage for folk like me and folk like Sarge. Tracy would probably like it. Ron and Polsky would probably get right into it as well. But aye, I took her Downton Abbey, some of my amazing peri peri fried chicken, a big bag of popcorn and a bottle of wine, and she played it on her big, she's got a projector. I've got 3 projectors. I don't want to sound big headed, but I've got a few projectors myself. They're the best things since sliced bread, far better than tellies. Get a projector, plug your laptop in and away you go. You can even mirror your phone onto them. But aye, Mr Red, he's got a projector, so that says it all. He loves his gadgets. Mr Red's a gadget fanatic. So I took her all that room and she had her airtime, an absolute airtime. So anybody that's a Downton Abbey fan, go and see that, go and get that film. I think it's even just in the pictures, but there's illegal downloads out there. Shouldn't have said that. There's illegal downloads out there, so you can just download stuff at your heart's content these days. Get yourself a VPN, nobody knows who you are, and away you go. Absolutely banging. Right, I'm going to get back to you when the mushrooms I've cooked in a wee bit more, folks. Aye. Right, folks, give another wee swatch at the mushrooms. They're cooking down lovely. Most of the water's cooked out of them. Wee top tip for anybody using non-stick pans: use wooden or plastic on them. Don't be using big mad metal tongs on them or forks or spoons, because you just scrape all the goodness out the pan and then your pan's had it. I don't know if have I mentioned yet about this pan? £3 for Poundland. Have I mentioned the craftsmanship on the handle? Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. £3 Poundland. Sad it wasn't a pound, obviously, but what do you expect, you know what I mean? It's nearly £3 for a packet of crisps these days. Thanks to the absolutely beautiful Labour government. You're doing a grand job of totally ruining everybody. As long as the new folk are having a great life in their 4-star hotels, 4 meals a day, no bills, wee bit of cash, wee packed lunch for when you've not got your other meal, breakfast, wee packed lunch, not a wee packed lunch, then dinner, probably get a wee hot chocolate at night when you're tucked up in your bed. So that's all lovely. We're all chuffed about, everybody's chuffed about that. In fact, we're so happy we're out waving flags about it. That's how happy we are with that situation. Aye, so that's our mushrooms. Almost done. So when they're done, pointing again, when they're done, going to get the onions in, maybe a wee bit extra oil. Going to get the onions in, and we're going to get some sugar in, get a bit of caramelisation taking force on that pan. Hope you can see the mushrooms, probably lovely. Right, we'll get back to these. Aye. Right, you lovely people, I think we're going to call time on the mushrooms. That actually looks in, see, it looks in focus through my phone, but I bet when I play it back it's all out of focus and no light and looks shocking. So I'm going to get the mushrooms onto, I'm going to put them into a wee bowl or a wee saucer. Oh, here's a lovely wee view of that. That's a beautiful view, look at that, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. What will I use? I'm actually just going to use a wee saucer. I'm going to use this lovely wee saucer. How lovely is that? Bloody beautiful. See, whenever I see plates and saucers, it always reminds me. Remember Paul Daniels? Remember he used to have folk on his show? There was always that guy that would spin fucking saucers and plates on sticks. And there's a way and you'd be like, oh no way man, look at that, he's pure spinning saucers and plates on sticks. Magical stuff. Mutter up! That's my wee farty noise for the gloves there. That was impressive. Right, going to get the mushrooms onto that saucer. I'll put these there because I know you want to see me putting mushrooms on a saucer. That's what you live for. Basically that's what you're living for, seeing this. The mushroom smell. Mrs Tracy, she's not a mushroom fan. Not a mushroom fan, Mrs Tracy. Doesn't like fish, doesn't like mushrooms. What's the world coming to? What is the world coming to? Right, that's for mushrooms. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely clean pan. Look at that. Bloody gorgeous. Have I mentioned that was £3 at a Poundland? The beautiful craftsmanship handle. Don't know if I mentioned it. Right, I'm going to stick a wee bit of oil in the pan. And I've run out of oil, so I'm going to take a wee tiny spoonful out the fryer. So it's going to have 5,000 different flavours. It's going to have fish cake flavour, spring roll flavour. It's going to have chip flavour, fish cake flavour, you name it, many flavours. And then we'll get the spoon back in there and we'll give our stock another wee spur about. So what, see me stirring my stock? Look at that. Now that's what I call abilities. Aye. I know what you're already saying. You're already saying that's a hell of a lot of onion to go into that wee pan. And yet again I'm going to say, aye, you're exactly right. But that's what I'm going to do, because that's how crazy I am. So there we go, all the onions into that wee pan. And you're into my wee tub. And these wee tubs are dead handy. Me and Tracy have already had a wee conversation about our cupboards full of empty tubs and jars and stuff we save up to reuse. This is just a mushroom tub. I keep all of them. They're great for chopping up your ingredients and showing off your ingredients in. See they using bowls and plates and God knows what else. Absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge lover of plastic. I love plastic. But keep your plastic, don't just lob it in the bin. Keep it, reuse it, then maybe even recycle it. Know what I mean? Don't be throwing it on bonfires and killing the planet and filling it into landfill, dumping it. Know what I mean? You see folk on the internet and they're using all sorts of cling film. Just use cling film, it just goes in the bin. What do they think your stuff to the bin goes? Do they think that just magically disappears? No, it gets dumped. So come on, think about what you're doing, folk. It like sickens me sometimes. Right, enough of that. There's our onions. All the onions in that wee pan. Look at that handle. Don't know if I've mentioned that. £3 Poundland. Absolutely gorgeous. Set these there for a wee second though. We'll get these moved to there. Huh? It's a nice wee view. It's a lovely wee view. Right, get the onions broke up a wee bit. I didn't bother breaking them up. We can do that in the pan. We're going to cook down and break up anyway. Just get them broke up gently, nonchalantly. Use whatever term you like. Adjective, verb, whatever. Just what I really am. I just use any old word for anything. Right. So that's us. We've got our 2 types of sausage frying away. What we're going to do is, I'm going to take that spoon out of the stock and give it a wee grind on a bit of kitchen paper situated somewhere. And I'm going to get in with about a tablespoon of sugar. Just ordinary sugar. No using jam sugar, we're not using demerara sugar, we're not using whatever sugar, we're not using Sweetex, we're not using saccharin, we're using ordinary sugar. We're going to get in there with a good tablespoon. And that, maybe a wee bit more, that is going to help the caramelisation process. Huh? And get the old spoon back into the stock. So I hope you've got a nice wee view of the onions. I'm sure you've got a decent view. Just don't need a perfect view. Right, we'll get the sugar mixed in. Oh, pardon me. Oh, pardon me. These are going to take a good wee while to cook down because it's quite a pan full. Quite a pan full of onions there. Notice how I'm not skiting any out the pan. Look at that. That's sheer skillage. Not a single bit of onion has left the pan. Look at that. Got a wee sugar about. Well, one wee bit just jumped out there just to piss me off. Just to say, aye, I'm going to jump out the pan. Right folks, get back to these once the onions are nearly ready. Right? Right folks, we're back with another wee glimpse at the onions that are taking a good while, but there was a lot of onion in there. So we're just going to let them cook away and do their thing. Off cam, I've sliced up my sausage into rather lovely wee lozenge shapes. So that's looking all lovely and grand and beautiful. That's our sausage for our pasty pie things. There's our mushroom. There's our stock, our gravy, our wee bit of thyme. I would have preferred sage, as I said, but I've not got any sage, so we're going with a wee bit of thyme. I'll really put a lot in. I forgot, while I'm talking about this beautiful, I don't know if I mentioned this pan, £3 for Poundland. Look at the handle, look at the craftsmanship. Absolutely gorgeous pan. Don't know if I mentioned it, but at the same time, I also got this lovely chopping board. Peter Cook, don't know who Peter Cook is. The pan's also Peter Cook. Yeah, but lovely chopping board, I think that was £1.50. Huh? So I'm going to get back to these folks when the onions are finally bloody caramelised, right? Right, yous lucky people, we're back again. Aye. So the onions are still caramelising, so we're going to give them at least another 5 hours in the gorgeous £3 pan for Pound World. I don't know if I mentioned that's a lovely wee pan. So we're going to get our gravy on the go. Going to sit yous there. I'm sure that's a perfect view for yous. I'm going to give my stock a wee mix. So might as well get the gravy on the go for when the onions are finally ready. Get them turned up. We'll get our stock in the old pot. I'll probably need a wee bit more water in there. I'm going to add a wee touch of water for the kettle. It's not hot, but hot enough. That should do us, hopefully. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to add some gravy granules in here. More onions, caramelise your bugger. We are getting a bit of colour at last, but I should have used a bigger pan, let's be honest. See, to be honest, I'm not too worried if they don't totally caramelise. This pan's gorgeous. Nothing sticking. Absolutely nothing sticking. And I did put in a tablespoon of sugar in here, you need to remember, so you would expect some stickage happening. Just going to leave them, let them do their thing. Could add a wee bit of vinegar, but I'm not going to bother. My stock's coming up to temperature, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bung in about that much gravy granules. We'll see how we go with that. Get a wee stir. You just want this to thicken up. And we'll dump the mushrooms in. And the mushrooms will add a wee bit of flavour, a wee bit of umami. Umami. Might need to add a wee bit more gravy granules, but you can add that at our leisure. Yeah, again, this was meant to be a wee quick video. It better not be another hour job. The hour videos are a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Right, our gravy's looking nice. Stick them up. I think we'll probably need to add a wee touch more gravy granules. I want this nice and thick because it's going into pasties. Then once the gravy's done, the sausages are in it, the onions are in it. We're going to have to cook it a wee minute and then let it cool down. I'm sure you all know that. You don't want to, pardon me, you don't use hot filling when you're making pies. I see folk doing it, I think, what the hell are you doing? What in the name of the wee man are you up to? Don't use hot filling for pies or cakes or whatever. Mrs Tracy knows that. Sarge probably even knows that. Well, maybe no. No, I think he does know that. Ron, he probably doesn't know it. And Polsky, he probably doesn't know that either. He knows a lot about chicken germs, touching things with chickeny hands, like opening cupboards and no wiping your hands, and that's his main field. Worrying about chicken juice, but there we go. we're just going to let that cook lovely. It's thickening up, but I think we're going to add a wee touch more gravy granules. I didn't add much, to be honest. That'll do it, I think. I think that will do perfect. Just want to mix them in. So for a really good gravy you want to make a roux. You do really want to make a roux, but who can be bothered? Well, I can be bothered, but you couldn't be bothered tonight. This is just a wee idea to use up that puff pastry I've got in the fridge, which is lovely. I've no problems with using shop bought puff pastry. And you see the amount of hassle when you try to make your own puff pastry and it's nice, but then you just buy a roll and you think, why did I even bother making puff pastry? The thing about making your own is you can make a ton of it, I suppose. You can make an absolute ton and get it in the freezer. Puff pastry freezes well, short crust freezes well, but don't buy phyllo pastry and stick it in the freezer and think that's going to freeze well, because I can attest that it bloody well doesn't. Right, I think we're getting there with our gravy. Just keep stirring it. If you end up with lumps, don't worry about it, it's going to be a bloody pasty anyway, you know what I mean? As if you're pouring it out of your roast. So I wonder if Mrs Tracy's used her Chinese gravy yet, or if she's used the Chinese curry sauce yet. She's not gave me any word. There's been no feedback whatsoever. Right, our gravy's looking good, folks. And these sausages are going to absorb some gravy and thicken it up a wee bit as well. I'm going to give this a wee rinse and keep my onions a wee mess about. The onions are actually, they smell bloody lovely, I'll tell you that. Getting a wee bit of bumpness, but that all is to the flavour. Probably even dairy onions for my liking. Don't leave your gravy for too long because it will catch. I'm actually going to get in there with a whisk if I can find it. Get in there with this wee baby whisk. Actually smells quite nice. It's looking quite good, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the onions off, right, and we're going to get in with our mushrooms. Going to get our mushrooms in, re-stir again, and the mushrooms will absorb some of that gravy as well, and help thicken it. Don't want to be putting corn flour in because that will just change the colour. You want a nice thick brown gravy. Yeah, that's looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I want to get my sausages in. Aye. Sausages in. And already that's looking bloody well. I could just eat this in now. How it is. With some potatoes. I'm going to get in now with some thyme, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Just about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of thyme. get a wee bit of herbiness. A wee bit of herbage always helps. And that is looking bloody lovely. And once it cools down, it will thicken up even more. What I'll do with this is I'll probably sit it in a bowl with cold water, and that will help cool it down faster. Please have a look at my onions. There's our onions. Don't know if you can see the onions. I think I'm going to call it a day with the onions and get them in the gravy. Look, there's my sausages, mushrooms, gravy, thyme, stock. So don't leave your gravy for too long because it will catch. It will catch and stick at the bottom and create an almighty mess. And nobody wants that. I definitely don't want that. Right. We're going to get in with the onions now, folks. When you move you here, and you turn this one half. I'm absolutely loving this pan. I'm absolutely bloody loving this pan. There you go, folks. I don't know if you can see that. So that's for onions. For onions, were mushrooms, were sausages, everything in the pot. A one pot wonder, one pot wonder, and that's all she wrote. The next bit's the easy bit, letting it cool down. That's easy. Anybody can let a pot cool down. It takes no skill whatsoever. And then the next easy bit is opening up your pastry and getting some of your mixture in. I'm going to turn that off because the residual heat in the pan, in the ring, in the electricity, in the cooker, whatever you want to call it, will cook that down a wee bit further. So there we go. Lovely, rich brown gravy with sausage, mushroom and caramelised onion. I could have went mental and threw in some carrot, but I'm not going to. Could have carrot on the side, or some new potatoes, possibly. But that's looking absolutely gorgeous. Right, folks, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to let that cool down and get back to you. Aye. Right, folks, we're back again. So I've opened up the pastry, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not overly amused. This is the first time I've tried Asda's roll puff pastry, and you don't get much. The roll you get in Lidl's is about twice the size of this. So I've just halved it. I'll get as much filling as I can. And I might just have the rest of the filling, if there's any left, with a few potatoes, or I might get more pastry. But I've got the oven on heating. I'm going to cook one, see how it turns out. Should turn out quite tasty. Got my egg, bit of beaten egg to brush it. Got my fork to go in the sides. So let's do this. Hope you've got a decent view. Hope you've got a decent view there. And we're just going to get in with some filling. The filling's lovely and thick. Lovely and thick. Get plenty of sausage in there. Make sure there's mushroom as well. Just spread it out to near the edges. I might actually just get two of this if I just use all this filling. Get it quite close to the edge. Get a mushroom out. I think that's about right there. I think that will do, so that's one. And I'll probably just stick the other one in the fridge. I might even freeze it. Right, so get your egg, get your wee brush, wee dip in the egg, and go round the sides. This is going to glue your join together. I don't know if I could get away with putting more in. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it. Right, and then just fold over, get the sides all meeting. This will be bloody lovely. Just kinda, so there's our filling there, see we're filling. And just kinda, you can spread your filling out a wee bit once you've got it closed. Just a wee bit more in this corner here. So we'll just get a wee press. But that's fine, I'm not worried. Oh, we're squishing out the sides. We're squishing out the sides, folks. We've got a bit of squishage. A wee bit of squishage. Not happy about that, but we'll just let it go, we'll let it go. Right, so now we're just going to crimp with a fork around the edge. Just square it a couple of times, turn to the other side. It's quite soft already. I've only had this out the fridge for about 5 minutes and it's already gone quite soft. Right, we'll turn into the side that the filling's squished out a wee bit, and again just crimp. It should be fine, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. What you can do is you can fold it there again as well and re-crimp. I'm not going to bother. Not going to bother a jot. But I'm going to say, it's not that. I've heard folk raving about Lidl's Asda's puff pastry. So maybe it tastes better but you just don't get as much. I think get that wee bit, looks like a bit of onion. There we go, we've rescued a bit of onion. Come here you. We've rescued a wee bit of onion. I'm going to give that a wee wipe. We're going to give this a wee wipe. Just push that in. Yeah, that's better. That looks better already. And we're going to trim down that bit of baking paper. Get the scissors. And the handy thing is, with any pastry you can use the paper to bake on. We'll just trim that down. You could keep that if you want, if you've got anything else to bake, something really wee. What I'm going to do now is, I'm going to get my knife, and I'm just with the weight of the knife, I'm going to gently score, just really gently. I'm not pressing down, just the weight of the knife, just very gently. Right, that'll do. Went through a wee bit too deep there, but we'll not worry about it. And I'm going to brush it with egg, a nice brush of egg. This will be bloody delicious. Get plenty of egg on there and we'll get the other one sorted. In fact, as I say, I might just stick the other one in the fridge and cook that tomorrow. Any extra egg, just get a wee wipe, get a wee dab, because you don't want it soaking with egg. You don't want egg soaking. Just a wee dab. I'm going to wear this side a wee bit more. But you want it to be lovely and brown when it comes out the oven. Right, that's good enough for me. So I'm going to do the other one and I'll get back to you. Right folks, that's what pasties done. So there's still loads of filling. I might just have it with a couple of bits of potato. So that's our first one. A wee bit of leakage here again. I've obviously overfilled, but you want tons, you want plenty of filling in your pasties. So I'm going to get them in the oven now, and I'll get back to you. Aye. Right folks, we're back. So that's the first one out the oven. And all that's left to do now, Mrs Tracy might know, Gold Star brown sauce. So what's left to do now, I think it'll give us a lovely golden brown colour on that. That is all she wrote. Hey folks, I'm going to leave these. I'm going to go away and tuck into this absolute beauty. Look at that. Right folks, adios.